Matt Moore, the Action Network NBA writer, one of the best at HP Basketball on Twitter, hosts the Locked On NBA and Locked On Nuggets podcasts. I do believe, as we say hi to Matt Moore, Jonathan Von Tobel, Patrick Meagher here on Sharp Money. Matt, did you go to practice today? Did you go to Nuggets practice today?
I missed it. I do know the notes from it, but I was not able to get down there. Too busy getting ready for all these conference finals.
All good. As we say hi, let's just start with an overall vibe. Like it's to me the deepest team. Where is the city of Denver right now with this Nuggets team?
I think the city is pretty confident. This has been the best atmosphere I've seen around the Nuggets since I moved here 11 years ago. So I think that this is, there's that level of defiance of us against the world, because it's always going to feel like you're the underdog when you're facing LeBron and the Lakers. This is the one seed with home court advantage who's dominated in the first two rounds. And still there's kind of that, because the Nuggets have never beaten the Lakers in the playoff series. So there's a lot of history going against them here. But I think that the city in general is very much, up for the challenge and thinks this is going to be the year. The team, on the other hand, I think is very much like they don't get too high or too low. And while I think LeBron carries a certain amount of intimidation, I think that the team in general has been like, no, we're good. Like, we're a good team. We can beat anybody. There's a real confidence with what they can do, because they didn't view the Suns as an insurmountable task the way that a lot of people around the league thought it was going to be for them. They were just like, yeah, no, good team, but we should win. And I think that's how they feel going into this one as well.
So, Matt, I'm curious. One of the things, and Patrick had me tease this so you can kind of answer it for me. One of the things that I was looking at some of the markets for this Western Conference Finals was Western Conference Finals MVP. Tell me why, if I think that the Lakers are going to win this series, I'm not betting Anthony Davis to win Western Conference Finals MVP. Is he not the most important cog, the guy who's going to defend Nikola Jokic, the dude who really has a lot on his shoulders?
He absolutely is. He absolutely is. If you want to bet Lakers, that's the best bet, I think, on the board. It gets you a better price because there's no way that they win this series if Davis isn't the best player in the series. Even if LeBron has a phenomenal scoring performance, Davis is going to have to be the primary defender on the best offensive player in the league, and he's going to have to contribute offensively. Like, this is the series for Anthony Davis. This is why you get this guy, is for this series. And if he's the best player in the series, then they're going to win, and he's going to be the reason why, and he's going to win it. Even if James's box numbers are a little bit better, like let's say that James averages more points than Davis. If Davis puts in the defensive works and averages, like 4 stocks a game, that's still going to be enough to get him, I think, the award over James, even if James scores more, because everyone understands that Davis is the reason why they're going to have that chance. If the Lakers are going to win the series, it's going to have to be with defense. Their offense can't keep up. Like, point blank, period. If it's just both teams play to their offensive capacity, the Nuggets are going to outpace them. So if they win, it's going to be based off of defense, and it's because of Davis's job on the interior and specifically on Jokic. That's the way to bet the series. There's a couple of other ways to bet the Lakers if you want to bet them, but as a starting point, don't bet the series price. Bet Davis to win Western Conference Finals MVP.
Nuggets 5.5 right now. Matt Moore joining us, the Action Network here on Sharp Money. Lakers Nuggets Western Conference Finals underway tomorrow. As I mentioned, it's a 5.5 number with the Nuggets. Okay, Davis and Jokic over here. Let's continue to analyze the matchup. Where do you find the Nuggets have an advantage outside of Jokic?
I think a lot of this is going to be Michael Porter Jr., right? Because what's going to wind up happening is the Lakers are going to want to stay home on him. But they showed during the regular season they're willing to send doubles at Nikola Jokic to try and force turnovers, which they need to get out and cause transition. If you leave MPJ at all, then he's a deadly spot-up shooter. If they are unable to play Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt in the series, if that doesn't work and they have to go to the guard lineups, LeBron at the 4 and Davis at the 5, that means Austin Reeves is probably guarding MPJ, and MPJ is able to shoot over that. Everything does in some way kind of bleed off of Jokic. Like, we could talk about Jamal Murray, and he's going to have a good series. He can't have a terrible series and for them to win. But a lot of it's going to be like, what decisions do he and Jokic make in the pick and roll? If Murray is absolutely cooking versus drop coverage, then he's having a big scoring output. The Lakers will adjust on that. And what happens then is Jokic gets more assists. He gets more assists than the other guys. I think Aaron Gordon is another one that if he has a good series, the Nuggets are probably going to win. He's going to be left open from three, but also, to be perfectly honest, James has been a better defender than he was in Cleveland, but he started doing some of the same stuff he was doing late in the Cleveland run, where he's over-helping in pick and roll, especially from the corners, and Gordon feasts in those situations by making cuts. So it's funny to ask, like, okay, outside of Jokic, everything is because of Jokic. Like, if you do not think that Jokic could be the best player in the series, you should not bet the Nuggets.
Am I wrong in thinking that one of the low-key most important players for Denver is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope?
No, because they're going to try and hide D'Angelo Russell on him.
Yep.
And the Warriors were not able to play Russell off the floor, which is shocking to me and really an indictment on where the Warriors were at offensively. KCP is not a high-volume guy, but if he's able to, get points coming off of dribble handoff situations with Jokic, hitting open threes, making D'Lo run through screens and making those types of play, as well as, causing disruptions and getting turnovers for the Nuggets to get out in transition, it's going to be huge. Like, KCP is going to have to add a lot on both ends in this series. There's not a guy that he's going to shut down, but there's got to be, he has to win a lot of the leverage moments in the series and be like, wow, that guy played really well.
Why? So home court advantage, we talked about the altitude. We know this, but they're 6-0 in the postseason. I think JVT mentioned 5-1 ATS. The Lakers equally, they're 7-0 straight up in the postseason. The home court advantage there for the Nuggets. Why is it such a decisive factor?
I think a lot of this in this series, reason it's so decisive is because the Nuggets are not great on the road. If you like the Lakers, taking Lakers game one, Lakers to win the series plus 280 is a really good way to get it on them as well. That's like the other way that I would look to bet the Lakers. Because the Lakers have won game one. They've stolen game one on the road in the previous two series. That's what they want to do. You steal game one with a high effort. You back off in game two and basically rest yourself. You don't you compete, but you're not like going as hard as you were in game one. You get blown out game two. You come back. You win the two home games, and you go. The Nuggets have not been great on the road. They won that game 6 in Phoenix, but they also lost the other two, and really were kind of on their heels throughout it. They did win in Minnesota, but the one game they lost was on the road. So you've got this kind of situation where Denver wasn't good in the regular season on the road. Denver has been okay in the playoffs on the road, and the Lakers obviously have been really good. So it's huge. Now, I will say this. Historically, the ATS numbers for the Nuggets and Jazz have kind of fallen off because teams get more adjusted to the altitude. That's been kind of the going thought, is that the home court advantage in the regular season isn't as strong as the market will show in the playoffs for a number of reasons. I think this Nuggets team is a little bit different in that their strength doesn't come from playing fast and, trying to gas out opponents. It's more of they're just like they have made that a priority, and they have a lot of confidence in that now. It's part of their identity. They win at home. So I think that's a huge part of this. Denver, I do expect to hold home court in this series, and that's going to put a lot of pressure, obviously, on the Lakers to be able to try and find a way to steal one. I think it's going to be very difficult given how well Denver has played at home.
Matt, Lakers haven't been a good offensive team in non-garbage time throughout this postseason, but they do run a lot, and their transition numbers offensively have been pretty good, and that was one of the weaknesses in the regular season for Denver. How big of a factor is that for Los Angeles here? Did the Nuggets struggle in transition here against the Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, that's how the Lakers won in 2020 was they just ran the ball down their throats. That's just like what they do is they play physical defense and they get out and run because they don't really have the offensive weapons. A big question here is, so Denver faced Minnesota, which was a great team at turning you over, but they were without Jaden McDaniels and without Naz Reid and weren't really at the caliber. Okay, fine. They faced the Suns, who don't turn you over at all. They're a low opponent turnover team, so Denver didn't have a problem there. When Denver loses, it's usually because of that. Their win rate goes from something like 70% down to about 55% in the Michael Malone era with Jokic when they have more turnovers than their opponents. So, that's a big key here. It's not just transition. It's going to have to be forcing turnovers. I don't know that you can – because eventually, even if you're running off of makes, Denver will start to get to the point where they're like, all right, let's just get back. It's a hustle question, and they'll make those plays. Part of the equation here, though, is that Denver is also one of the best transition teams in the league. They are absolutely really great per possession. When they run, they score. They just don't run as much. So the Lakers need to be careful about not trying to get into a track meet because, again, if you're going up and down and you're trying to match firepower, that's not going to work. The Lakers have to score in transition, get back, set their defense, get a stop, run, repeat. That's the formula, I think, for the Lakers.
Matt Moore, the Action Network, NBA Raider. Of course, you can check out the pods as well at HP Basketball on Twitter. I'm excited for this. The franchise has been there a long time. This is a big stage for the franchise. I'm excited for this Nuggets-Lakers series. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.